Yes, we're really doing this. Day 2. What does that make it? Hang on. I think the 4th. Oh, I can't check. It's recording. 4th of January 2024. This is day 2 of a year in the life of living in a motorhome. Today, ultimately, has felt like a fairly average day, which is great because my average is still out in the wild and doing different things versus when I had an average day at the house. I was so bored. My life just felt monotonous. It felt like I was on this round, I'd say conveyor belt, but that's got a start and a finish. Just round and round of the same shit every day. I was so bored. I just felt confined and isolated. Whereas in here, there's so much natural light. There is the tiniest amount of space. So if I want actual space, I've got to go outside. I'm connecting with the world around me. I'm breathing in fresher air. I'm getting direct sunlight. I'm looking at Malvern Hills. So yeah, it's been nice to have an average day. Now so I'm parked at a car park. I actually forget its name, but it's one of the paid for car parks in Malvern Hills by the Malvern Hills Conservators Trust or something like that. So they basically own a load of this area, and it's all for people to come and look at. They can roam for free, but some of the car parks you have to pay for, which I love doing that because it puts money directly into the community. And so I've been in this paid car park in the day. Then I've been driving just 5 minutes up the road to I would call it a lovely lay-by, but that's because I've been doing this for a little while and I love it. Other people might see it as just like a dirt lay-by, but anyway, it's quite a big lay-by just off a single track road in the woods in Malvern Hills. I love it. It's super peaceful, great location. So that's what I've been doing. Last night, with all the lifestyle changes I've been making, I definitely had a better night's sleep. I did wake up before my alarm went off, but I definitely felt like I had a higher quality of night's sleep, which is so fantastic. I've got to get back to sleeping really well because sleep is the foundation of health. That's where our body does most of its repairing, and it's just so critical. But it's not just as simple as getting sleep to be healthy. You've got to, all the other lifestyle factors affect your sleep, and vice versa. So yeah, everything I've started doing this week, I've been really happy with. So I definitely had a better night's sleep last night. Woke up at 5, decided to drive here because the part of the lay-by I parked in last night was a bit of on a bit of a slope. So that's kind of that's something within motorhomes. When I'm looking to park somewhere, I'm looking where is the most level, because it's really unpleasant being parked on a slope. So I decided to drive from the lay-by to this paid for car park. It's also super early and it's a single track road, and it's got a really steep hill in one part of it. So I also I'm thinking about how to avoid traffic, people coming the other way, because this big beast isn't easy to stop or maneuver. Actually, as I'm doing this, I'm just going to get a drink because I've still got a bit of the tail end of a cold and a sore throat. So I'm just getting myself some water. So I drove here. Super early this morning. I parked up. I did my morning yoga. I basically subscribed to the website called Glow. It's just glow.com, but they call themselves Yoga Glow, but there's loads more than yoga. It's all guided stuff, guided yoga, Pilates, exercise classes, programs, meditation and mindfulness, all that sort of stuff. So I did my morning yoga, and then I just had a normal day. But one thing I've changed now is I'm delaying my first coffee for a good few hours. I'm up at 5. I was having my first proper strong, like Italian spec coffee. I get lovely Costa Rican coffee, organic coffee. Oh no, sorry, it's not organic, but it's farmed with organic with the organic approach. So I get that from Empty Jars refill shop in Evesham, and yeah, I was having my morning coffee at 6, and then another one just a couple of hours later, and I'm curious if that's one reason why I'm not sleeping very well. So I'm kind of pushing my first coffee until about 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, ultimately I came here, did my yoga, had hot lemon water. And then just did my normal day. The other lifestyle change I'm doing differently is I'm keeping an eye and seeing, as soon as I can see the sun coming up on the horizon, I'm going out for a walk, because 5 minutes of really good direct sunlight, if it's a sunny day, or half an hour if it's a cloudy day, is absolutely critical to trigger the neurons in the bottom of your eyes, which is just, this is all so cool, to trigger those neurons, for them to trigger the release of hormones like adrenaline and cortisol and melatonin that help you to wake up in the mornings and then go to sleep at night. So yeah, I'm being really conscious of that. So I got out for a nice walk this morning. As far as my sort of normal day to day, you could do all of this in a house or a flat. Why is it different for me in a motorhome? Well, I'm just so intimately connected to the outside. I can travel to different places. I've got scenery. I've got scale. Like where I am here in the motorhome, I've got lovely hills there. I can't see that far, but there's lovely hills all across that part of the horizon. Behind me is it becomes very flat, and you're going off towards Cotswolds over there, or Birmingham that way. So I can see lots of civilization. I see lots of lights over that way on the horizon, but I can see for a long way. But then looking across to Cotswold Way, that is one hell of a vista. It's nice down here, but when you get up onto the hills, it is spectacular. The sunrise this morning, I keep laughing when I see a sunrise. Normally a sunrise, because I'm up early. I'm more of a sunrise person, but I do love a sunset. So I've seen some mental sunsets on Cardigan Bay, looking out from Cardigan Bay towards the Lynn Peninsula and Island. Anyway, that's the difference here, is this healthy lifestyle routine that I'm improving and perfecting at the moment can be enhanced a lot more, because I'm so intimately connected to nature, because I can choose pretty much where I go. I can choose what I want my garden to be from day to day. I just love that. I love that. So this morning's sunrise, I'm going for a walk up the hills, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I'm laughing to myself, because it's so beautiful. It's unbelievable. It's like, I don't know. It's Mother Nature is absolutely stunning, and I find that through this last year of spending a lot more time and then living in the motorhome, it's definitely the sunrises that feel the most special, feel the most exclusive. I feel like I've seen things that the majority of the human race will never see, because they're not up at that time and they're not out into nature. Dry throat. And it makes me laugh, because it's so stunning. It's unbelievable. The colour, you could see the sun. The sun wasn't quite up on the horizon, but the sunlight was lighting the underneath of this unbelievable coverage of clouds. and it was this reddy, pinky, crazy colour. If this ever goes live on YouTube, then I posted my pictures on Instagram. So have a look at what day is it? The 4th. It's the 4th today. The 4th of January 2024, and you'll see. Unfortunately, pictures are never reality, and reality, for me, outside with sunrises, reality is always best. I never put filters on the pictures. I never ever do any of that. I just take the picture and post it. So that's kind of, yeah, that's what's different for me in the motorhome. The day was good. I had nice. I did myself scrambled eggs on sourdough for breakfast at about 9 o'clock, 8 to 9 o'clock. Because I hadn't had them for breakfast, I then had a bowl of organic oats with water and cinnamon and nuts and seeds and dried fruit, and I started chopping up bits of whole ginger, putting in a spoon of honey, all that sort of stuff. So I did that for lunch, and then I'd sort of finished everything I was going to do for my work day. I had a nap. I love that. I had a nap. I've been thinking, when was I sleeping the best? And when I was sleeping the best, I was just doing work for one client. I wasn't doing anything then in the afternoon. I was just doing stuff for me. No other work stuff, no other social media stuff, just stuff for me. I'd go to the gym, I'd go into the sauna, I'd have an afternoon nap, just a few minutes, nothing major. I did that today. I love that today. And then I also put some stuff. I put The Revenant on in the background. I just think The Revenant is such an amazing film. It's very inspirational. I've got a massive interest in people that are able to live with only what the land can provide. So I have a huge appreciation. I'm fascinated by indigenous people. I'm especially fascinated by the Native Americans, the Native Indians. I'm not sure what is right or wrong to say, but ultimately the people that are indigenous to North America. I'm also fascinated by the frontiersmen, the pioneers, not the ones that went and basically kill and stole from the indigenous people. I'm interested in the ones that went pioneering from, a relatively developed society, often in England or somewhere in Europe, to go and be pioneers in North America. I'm fascinated by that. So I love The Revenant for that piece of history. And I just love the story that's supposedly based loosely on some factual event. And the story of it, I feel there's immense courage, bravery, all those things, all good things in life, basically. So I had that in the background, had a nice nap. So kind of heads up for the motorhome is the reason I got this motorhome. Well, probably two reasons. The main one, I would say, is I absolutely love the layout. However, this is a 20-year-old motorhome. You just don't get this layout in more modern motorhomes. I love there's proper floor space. I do yoga in here. I properly lay down completely flat on that sofa. It's longer than me. That's the width of the motorhome. I'll lay down here as well. It's super cozy. It's lovely and comfy. I love being in here. I'll sleep on that back bed if I need to when Arthur's here, and he's got his upstairs. So this sort of layout really works for me. I wanted it to be a home, whereas most other motorhomes or van conversions, you're basically sat up at a table or you've got a bed, and that's it. I don't want that. So that's sort of, for me, this was an important part of the layout. And then what else? Yeah, afterwards I went for a nice a really good, proper brisk walk. Somebody commented that I was on a bit of a mission, and I just said, well, I'm just getting a bit of cardio in without running, because it's a steep hill. My heart's pumping if I'm really walking at a proper pace, without having to run and get all sweaty. And I got up to the top there, and the view is just absolutely stunning. So that's something else with the motorhome. For me, at the moment, I just feel like I don't want a home that's bricks and mortar, because the only reason to do that would be if I'm going to go back to that location most of the time. I don't want to do that. Unless if I could find a piece of land that's near mountains, near kind of mountain rivers and waterfalls, with some woods and all that sort of stuff, I'd consider building a cabin. But I don't want a bricks and mortar property. I don't want to be surrounded by other buildings. I don't want to be confined by what is around that property. At the moment, I love this place where I am now in Malvern Hills. I think I'm going to come back here a lot. I might change my mind tomorrow, and I can. That's the whole point. I can. So that's that. And then I did dinner now, kind of for eating and cooking within a motorhome. Because I am back at Pershore roughly every other week, because that's where Arthur is at school. So I do often, I will go to the Empty Jars refill shop in Evesham to refill my like dry goods and all that sort of stuff. I'll go to Waitrose, which is in the same area as the refill shop, because they do organic stuff. If I don't make it over to Evesham, I'll go to Co-op in Pershore. So I do have a bit of a system to be as slick as possible with shopping, but also using the Wild Guide books by Wild Things Publishing. So Wild Guide Wales, Wild Guide Central England. In those books, as well as showing you all places to adventure in the wild, they also list farm shops, cafes, good pubs, generally ethical type businesses, often organic, definitely no kind of run-of-the-mill pubs or cafes, stuff like that. So it's all good stuff. So I will also prioritise buying from local shops, because it's another way to put money into different economies, that I visit. It's also, I see different things, I vary my diet, I vary the nutrients that I eat, and it's exciting as well. I see different things that you get in one place and not another. So for shopping, that's the sort of stuff I'll do. I've got a small fridge. It's actually a good size fridge, but it is small compared to what you'd have in a house. And it's got like in the fridge at the top is a small freezer unit. But I basically haven't been buying anything that needs freezing. The fridge has actually been turned off most of the time. The only thing I really need to keep cool is my AG1 Athletic Greens, which is a probiotic, prebiotic, organic whole food supplement with minerals and fungi and all this sort of stuff. So because that's live, that does need to be kept at a certain temperature. So as the weather heats up, I will start turning on the fridge to keep it properly cool. But weather's been cold, and on the outside of the motorhome there's some covers that you can put on or take off at the back of the fridge. So I've been keeping them off because it's not been too cold, but it's been cold enough to keep the fridge cooler. Now if it gets too cold, if it gets to 8 degrees C or less outside, then you have to put those covers on to protect the back of the fridge freezer, which I have done that tonight. So yeah, apart from that, I used to get weekly. I used to keep a big old list of food shopping. I used to sit down and spend a while doing my online food shopping. Used to get it delivered. I don't do any of that anymore. There's a few things I want to make a note of. Once I've used them, I do want to replenish them. I've got And I use Google Keep. I use Google Keep Notes for lots of things, so it's just on my phone. But I've also just got just a pencil note of a few things I want to get. But apart from that, I'm pretty chilled about having food. We eat really well. I often want to go out and get something to eat, and in the end I just talk myself out of it because I've already got the best food that we can have. I'm privileged to have that, and also for my health, food is health insurance. I want to eat organic, I want to eat really good quality food, so I do have that here. So that's all food, and then and then we sort of get into the evening routine. So my latest evening routine, my alarm goes off at 6. By that time, I'm aiming to have finished eating. I want to go for a 20-minute walk, because that really, really, really helps to speed up the time that my body is processing food. The quicker my body has finished processing food, the better rest, repair, and recuperation I'm going to get when I'm sleeping, because my body's not busy processing what I ate hours ago. So I've done that. I've also started grounding again. And that is literally just taking off my shoes and socks and walking on the grass. So I did that a bit outside. And again, all these sorts of things are even more accessible to do when you're out in the wild in a motorhome. I then have started doing a 15-minute exercise, which also, because I'm trying to do a bit of quick cardio, that also really helps to my body to process food. It also improves my fitness and my strength and all good stuff. So I've basically saved quite a few different classes that are 15 minutes in my Glow account. So I started doing that, and then I'm a bit hot and sweaty, so then I'm having a wash. So I'm going to get up and and show you what I do here. So for the wash, all I do for the wash is I've got a small pan down there. I pop some water in the pan on the hob. I then literally put just one. Where's that? Hang on. You might not be able to see it. Just one drop of peppermint oil. Ideally, I'd get organic. And then I've got a flannel, which is just here. And then I'll pop that in the pan on the top. Just bring it up to temperature, and then I'll go into the bathroom, and then here's my setup. So I've got my bucket, so I pour the pan with the water and the flannel in the bucket, and the reason to do that is so it doesn't splash everywhere. I've actually found having this bucket, I use it a lot more than the sink. To be honest, it's just a lot more versatile and mobile. It means I can move it wherever I want to, and I'll give myself a really good wash and scrub down. I will then tip the water into the sink, and then I'll dry myself. So that's what I'll do. So that's kind of winter routine. My summer routine will be a bit different. I'll cover that when we get to those days. So yeah, I will be having proper showers and proper washes. But at the moment, because it's cold, water doesn't evaporate very easily. And if I had a proper shower, well, first of all, I can't have a proper shower in the shower room because I haven't filled up the onboard water tank. And to use that shower, you need onboard water connected to the water pump. The reason I've emptied the onboard water tank is so there's no water in any of the pipes, no water in the pump, because it gets cold in here. And if it freezes, then the water will expand and it will burst pipes, it will damage the pump, and I'll be in a whole world of trouble. So I emptied the onboard water ages ago, which is another reason why I got this absolutely fantastic Lifesaver jerry can, which the Lifesaver jerry can has given me personal freedom. It's also given me more financial freedom, because the jerry can has meant that I don't need to think about when I'm going to go to a campsite and fill up with water, because to this day I've not worked out anywhere else I can get water. Sure, I could knock on somebody's door, but that's just not realistic, is it? And that could end up in like it being such a mission to get water So really, the most realistic thing to do is to find a campsite. Some campsites you can pay just, I don't know, a fiver, and you can go and empty your toilet and fill up with water. But the purpose of this off-grid motorhome life is to disconnect as much as possible, to give me more headspace to connect with the world around me. So, so with the Lifesaver jerry can, as long as I can get near to a river or a lake, because I'm in the wild, I'm generally around nicer, cleaner water. That holds 25 litres. That lasts me a good 3 to 4 days. It really depends what I'm doing. Because again, I'm being super conscious as to the amount of water I use for everything. I'm being super conscious of the amount of water I use to wash up. I'll do all the normal things that everybody does in a bricks and mortar property, but I'm doing it knowing that it's that I'm not connected. I don't have infinite water. I don't have infinite electricity. So even if I didn't give a shit about our future or climate change or consumption and waste, even if I didn't care about any of that, I'd still be cautious because I'm not connected. There isn't an infinite supply of water or electricity or gas. So that's that bit. I do care about all those things. I do care about living a climate positive life. Another reason why I'm in the motorhome. So that's another reason. Being in the motorhome forces me to be even better than I think I was before. So yeah. So that's it. So they're kind of just got into a good bit of a routine about my evenings, and that's sort of what I do with exercising and washing. Again, all in the motorhome. The layout I've got here, this L-shaped lounge, and the corridor sort of going up to the cab, means I can put a yoga mat down. This corridor is longer than a yoga mat. You couldn't get 2 in, but it's longer than 1 yoga mat. So it's perfect. And again, I adjust the things that I do, the yoga moves or the exercises. So that's that. And then the last thing is, tomorrow I am heading back to civilization. I'm heading into Pershore. I'm going to go and work from the office, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Arthur. Yes, at 5:30. So my plan now is that I'm staying in this car park at Malvern Hills. Actually, the reason I haven't put the blind down tonight is it's pitch black, and if I do one of these every day, gradually we're going to see what's happening with the outside world behind me. So I thought that might be good. So yeah, I'm basically all set to go. So that in the morning, I just so I've already turned off the gas. I've already sort of gone round and locked up most things. I've started to prepare. So some other sort of tips is when you're driving along in a motorhome, it gets noisy. And a lot of the noise actually comes from pans and metal that's connected on like the cooker hood and all that sort of stuff. So like here, when I shown you this earlier on, I've got a tea towel underneath here, but that goes on top of, that's noisy if it's allowed to rattle. So this tea, normally I like a bit of a thicker tea towel because it makes this quite tight, so it holds that in quite well. But there's a tea towel there. You can see another tea towel here that's actually shut in the oven door. So that's sort of another trick. I've got this lock I put on extra because the wardrobe doors would open when I was going around corners. What else? What else is in here? Just other little things. I've got some things a bit more homely. I've got pictures. Pictures here. And I've just worked out that this flower pot on that sort of special non-stick material there, if I put the pictures in that little gap with this in front, that none of that moves when I drive. So that's another thing. So I move those pictures when I'm not moving. I put those pictures on the surface there. I move this, that goes there as well, but I just quickly put that back. Now I don't want to do too much. I don't want to be like in a home that has a 1,000 cushions on all of the sofas and bed that you can never sit down unless you spend half your fucking life moving cushions. That's absolutely not what I want to do. However, there's a few things that I do move because I don't just start the engine and drive off. I start the engine, let it tick over for a few minutes. While it's ticking over, I'm checking that all the cupboards are locked and shut. I'm putting a couple of my like homely things away. That the reason I've got these, everything in my life is for a reason. I can't think there's anything I have that I don't want or need. My mum painted these, so she painted this one of Oxwich Bay, and this one